Hi guys, we are so excited to go to Boston next week. So we have some documents that will be sent home via email as well as with your student. But we wanted to hurry and make this video rather than sending you a super long email with some more details to help explain. One of the documents that will be sent home is the packing list for Boston. A couple of things you need to be aware of. First of all, we are not checking any baggage, which means that all of your students' items, everything needs to fit in one carry-on suitcase or duffel bag, something like that fits in the carry-on compartment, and then some other personal item. If you're not sure what the dimensions of that and how all that works, just look it up on JetBlue's website and they can answer all of your questions.
Yep, I would stuff socks into shoes. I would roll everything as tight as I can and pack it in there. Please do not forget the umbrella because it is going to be raining when we are there.
Yes, and likewise, there's going to be a lot of walking. So if you'll notice on the packing list, your child will need to bring a set of walking shoes as well as wear one on the plane. So they need two, so they can switch off every day, especially, like we said, it's going to be raining. That way shoes have enough time to kind of recuperate, dry out, stuff like that. So they need to have 2 pairs of walking shoes. Also notice it'll be kind of chilly, pretty cold. So make sure that you bring layers, bring a jacket. Like I said, there will be a lot of walking, which means that you need to be able to take off the layers if they get too hot. So just make sure to bring jackets, stuff like that.
I would also bring some kind of a carry bag. So either the over the shoulder, like simple strap bag, or a smaller lightweight bag. Pack that into your carry-on baggage so that you can use that to zip around Boston with. It can have like your wallet, it can have your various items, your water bottle and things like that in that, so that you're not carrying a large bag around Boston.
Yes, and with that, so once we get off the plane that morning, we'll be dropping off all of our luggage, which means that they need to have just that small little carry-on bag. That way they don't have to carry their personal item, backpack or whatever it is, all around Boston through all that walking. So just that smaller item, like a little shoulder bag, a fanny pack, or whatever they need, that'll be great.
That goes in storage, and then at the end of the day of seeing Boston on that first day that we're there, then we'll go back and we'll collect our luggage and we'll take it to the Airbnb, but we can't check into the Airbnb until after we've seen the sights on Tuesday.
Yeah. We've had some questions about uniforms. No, your child does not need to wear uniforms. Just make sure that whatever they're wearing, it is appropriate for weather and also just is appropriate. And then we do have one day that we'll be wearing our Arches Navy Blue t-shirt, so they do need to bring that in their suitcase so that they have it. Everything else should be itemized on the packing sheet that you have. If you have any questions, please reach out. Do you have anything else for packing?
If you have any kind of medications that your child takes, if you could please make sure to write us permission. That will also be on the form that you're filling out, but we need to have it and we can dispense it to your child unless you write otherwise. I just don't want them to lose their medication. I don't want them to forget that they've taken it and then take another pill already. So make sure that we have the instructions and the permission for the medication.
Perfect. That brings us to some of the documentation. So the following forms are the ones that you will need to have signed and bring in this week so that we have them before we get on the flight. So there's the temporary guardianship agreement.
That one's only for people who are going without their parents.
Yeah, so if your parent is a chaperone or you're a chaperone for your child, then you're good. You don't need to fill this out. And then everyone needs to fill out the Arches Academy overnight release form, and that does have a space for the medication. And please write any important information there, any descriptions, and make sure to sign it.
And put your insurance on it, just in case there's an emergency.
And then this last one is from the airline, and it is just like a guardianship.
Permission for the students to fly since they are minors.
Yes. And this one, they highly encourage, it says it's not required, but it does say to have it notarized if possible. And so if you do have the ability to have this one notarized, that would be great.
Again, we have another form that needs to come, and it's the first one they got when they were born. It's the birth certificate. The airline has specifically requested that if a student is under the age of 14 years old, they need to have an original birth certificate. It must have the seal. It must be embossed. So for them to be able to have it on there. Now, if you are traveling without your parent, you must have that or you cannot fly. If I were a parent flying with my child, I would also bring their birth certificate just in case there's something unforeseen that happens in Boston and you end up staying in Boston and they end up coming home. So I would make sure, please, that you bring the birth certificate.
The alternate is, so the flight, the airline requires that they have that original birth certificate or an active passport or an active state issued ID. So if you've like taken your kid to the same way you get your driver's license when they're older, that kind of state issued ID. Those are the three options, and your child must have one of those in order to get on the plane. And that is specifically if we have purchased their ticket through our group staff. I think that's everything. Is there anything else?
That's everything. Just on the last day when we need to check out of the Airbnb, we will take our luggage again and we will store it so that we can pick it up around 3:30 or so before we end up going to the airport to fly back to Utah. We are totally jazzed. It is going to be one heck of a trip.
It's going to be
We're going to have
fun.
So much fun. There's so much to see there, and I've always wanted to do this, so it's kind of like a dream come true. And it's going to be a lot of fun for the kids. They're going to get a lot of hands-on experience with things that we have really talked and argued and debated in history this year. So thank you for letting your child go.
It's going to be super fun. Thanks.